phone. The main thing, actually, I remember this. The police, when they initially told me about Nate's unit getting broken into, I said, "Is there a phone?" And they said no. And I said there was when they found his body. They left it plugged into the wall in the kitchen. I need that phone. Here we go. It is in pretty bad shape, which doesn't really surprise me. I don't know what all that gross. I should probably wash my hands after this because Nate's unit was all covered in feces, but so it's broken. It's obviously not going to turn on. It's been off. This is over a year ago they found it. The back is pretty broken, which again doesn't surprise me. The pencil's gone. So it's pretty gross. I'm going to plug this bad boy in. Let's see if we can hack into it. I was able to hack in. Okay, hopefully it works. This is mine. Okay, this does not sound good. Sounds like it's broken. Anyway, I'm going to plug it in. Let's see if we can get it working. See if I can hack into it. I hacked into his other one, so I should be able to hack into this one. We'll see. Interesting. It's really weird it made that noise. Because the other thing I know as well, Nate had, so when he left us, the family, when he left to go get a drink and hit me with the car, okay, he left his old cell phone with at home. All he took his benzos. That was it. And he had, and I think a week prior, he had gotten a new cell phone, but he didn't trade in his old one. So he left his old one at home. He had gotten a new one. Then what I noticed is towards the end of December, he had traded in another phone again. Now I never had access to his Verizon account, but I could tell because I logged in just into his Google account and I was able to digitally see where he switched phones. And I could actually track all of his history where he was located, which I'll do a video about that if anyone is ever interested. You can actually go in and see exactly where somebody is at all times. As long as they have certain things turned on, you have to be pretty strategic to go and turn those off. So, anyway, and that is through Google. So, anyway, I was able to see that he had gotten a new phone. He breaks phones he's pretty tough on phones, as you can see. So, it doesn't surprise me. So, I'm hoping this isn't his old one that he actually, I would remember, wouldn't I? Anyway, I don't remember what his phone looked like when he left. Because I was thinking if this was it, then I would remember. But I would think by now it also would be turning on or doing something. Yeah, it's not doing anything. So maybe I'll have to take the SIM card out. We'll come back to that. Okay, now on top of that, let's dive deep into this little big Ricky Teal dude. Let me show you what this is. Really, let's back up one moment before we do this. One of the other things I'm going to do, so there's a couple of things I want to tell everybody about. I am going to also get all of the evidence that was available and all the police photos, everything from Nate's case when they found his body. They did do an investigation because they didn't know how he passed it. It was pretty obvious it was alcoholism, but they still had to do an investigation because of the way his body was found. I am going to request all of that evidence. I can do it digitally and I will request that and I will be sharing that soon. I've not requested it yet, but I will request that and I probably should get it within a couple of days, I believe. So stay tuned, subscribe if you're interested. I know the police have told me I don't want to see it. The thing is that this is what addiction does to you. This is what happens. This is the evidence that I will show everybody is the reason why I fought tooth and nail to get custody of the children. The evidence will show everybody how his place looked. It was not living conditions for anybody at all. I was told there was a table, a chair. He was actually found humped over on the chair, a bed, TV. That was it. Tons of alcohol all over. I can only imagine the disgusting what it looked like because I know how his hotel rooms look after 4 days of drinking with feces and urine everywhere. So I want to share this, what I have, because it's very important. Number one, if you are drinking or doing drugs, whatever it is, because he did do drugs too, whatever it is, stop now and get help. It is never too late. Nate always said this. I have today. I don't know if I will have tomorrow if I'm drinking. So get help now. On the other side, on the other hand, if you are a victim of domestic abuse, or if you are living with a chronic alcoholic or a chronic drug addict, check out my other videos. I have one on restraining orders, divorce, custody. I have one, it's called Secrets. He wasn't the first one. And that one is about somebody else they dated that was a crackhead. Lots of information in there about what I did right and what I didn't do right, what I did wrong, that I could have actually done better. But bottom line, get out. If you have kids, get them safely out. If you can get an attorney, I cannot explain to you how important it is because my children, even if they would never, I can't guarantee you they wouldn't have been physically hurt because he couldn't even take care of himself. He physically hurt me. Let's just say they hadn't. Let's just say they were with him. They wouldn't have been fed. He didn't have food. He didn't eat. All he cared about was his alcohol. That's all he cared about. And they would have also have seen, they have never ever experienced and seen the disgust that I have seen. They've never seen it. They never will. And that would tarnish them, that memory, those memories. It would be terrible if they saw that, if they saw their daddy the way that he was living. Now, I'm going to start off. I'm going to show you how we were living prior to his relapse. So let me see if I can get in here and share my screen. So I can actually share what it was. everyone. So let's dive in. Let me show you how Nate was living, how we were living as a family prior to his relapse. The goal is to not show everybody every aspect of our lives and X, Y, and Z and this beautiful house. The goal is to show you how quickly things deteriorate when you make a decision to let addiction take over. I know once he started drinking, I know he couldn't stop, but he made choices before he took that drink. He, number one, drove to the store to get the alcohol. Number two, took his wallet out, bought the alcohol. Number three, walked out of the store with it. Number four, took the cap off. Number five, put the drink to his mouth and drank it. Okay. He knew he would have called anybody in a heartbeat. He was in a 12 step. He could have called somebody, and instead, he made a very bad decision. So, this is to show you how quickly things deteriorate when you make these decisions. Trust me, I'm not perfect at all by any means, but let me just show you here. So, this was our house, and Daniel's room was over here up at the front. This was the front entryway. That's where Daniel's room was. We had a bathroom over here that the kids shared. I absolutely love this house. Another picture of Daniel's room. This is the kids' bathroom. This was Hannah's bedroom. Every morning she would wake up and she would think Jesus was out this window and she would say, "Good morning, Jesus." This was the living room. Loved this fireplace in the winter time with all of the snow falling and the windows. It was gorgeous, just gorgeous. And the living room was a combination with the kitchen, and then the dining room was right here. And then a patio, another area, another, I guess, view of the living room. And then this, of course, is the dining room. And like I said, this is a patio. It's a raised patio, which was really nice because it overlooked the greenery. Another angle of the rooms, another area of the bathroom. It's not a bathroom, Shannon, it's a kitchen. Another view of the kitchen. And then this was the steps to go actually downstairs. So it did have a finished basement, which was really nice. I loved it because it had a full bath down there, which you'll see pictures of. And we had the playroom down there, another like living room set up down there. And there were two bedrooms down there. So those were guest bedrooms. Another kitchen. This was the master bedroom. I also had my office in here. I can't remember why I didn't put it downstairs in one of the rooms. But anyway, my office was in here. And then master bathroom, which I absolutely loved. Nice big closets. My closet's not that big in Tennessee. And then this is the part of the finished basement. So this is the area where it was so nice because we could have a couch, we had a TV, then we had all the toys. The kids obviously were younger. And then the bathroom, nice full bath downstairs. And then there was a bedroom right here on this side and then a bedroom over on this side. So anyway, and then there's that raised patio. But this is the big lawn that we had that we would have people come over. We would have a bounce house, and it was just so much fun. And we just loved being out there. So anyway, that is where we live. That's not showing you all about our lives, but I'm showing you this for a reason because this is where Nate lived after he left. Actually, one of the places he lived after he left. I will do a video and show you another place where he lived. So stay tuned, make sure to subscribe. Okay, here. And this is an actual video. Oops. So I just want to make sure that everybody is getting this video. Give me 1 second here. See if I can stop sharing. Let me see if I can share again. Okay, everyone. So I showed you where we were living. Again, a house is a home, right? It's what you make it. I completely agree, understand that. When he relapsed, he left the home only wearing the clothes on his back, and he had his benzos medication. That was it. He was homeless for a while, for a little bit, and he lived, I will show you one place he lived before this, but I will do that in a separate video, so stay tuned. Definitely subscribe. But I will show you, this is a video of the entire neighborhood where he lived. Now, the screen you're seeing right now, this is where he lived. I'll show you. So up here, so this is a threeplex. So Ricky, the person who stole his items, lived below here. And then over here is where somebody else lived. And then up here, this whole top part is where Nate lived. Now he owned this entire threeplex. And this is so that's kind of how he kind of got away with hiding out here and doing what he was doing. And it was in anybody familiar with the Quad Cities? So it was in the west end of Davenport, which is not a very good area at all. Lots of drugs, lots of arguing, lots of fighting, lots of police. So you can kind of hide out here. Anyway, so let me go ahead and get started on the video. I drove by there today. And this just shows you, and I'll come to areas where I want to stop. Like here, so this was the door that you go up to walk up to his unit. That's how you actually got into his unit. This is where the police went in, and it's the only way to access his unit. And then all of this was his unit up here. As you can see, these windows are open. I was told the windows were open when the police got there because I was kind of curious why nobody smelled his body. And they said the windows were open. So looks like they're still open, which is pretty unique. But again, I mean, you can tell the kind of type of place it is. A lot of the places around here are boarded up. So, yep, there are the steps right there, 304, one half. There's the exterior of the building. And then I don't know, it looks like the one tenant, she had lived here. She and her husband lived here forever. So I'm assuming they still live there because it looked like there was something on their door. Now, the other unique thing is over here. This is all storage, and as I'm driving around, so this is where people park, but this is all storage. It used to be rented out and padlocked and shut. You can see, and there's another video. The door's been, somebody obviously broke in there. That is the back to that other person's unit. This is the steps to go down to the basement. And then this is where Ricky lived, who broke into his unit. So, and then another video is going to play where I drive a little slower so everybody can see it here. As you can see right there, again, this was all like there's a padlock there. This was all padlocked. So obviously somebody broke in there. And that was part of where Nate, what all of this is part of Nate's, where Nate was living. If you look at the windows, I mean, it's just completely trashed. The whole building is, the window is still open from when he was there. Whole building is pretty run down. And then this that everybody sees right here, this goes into the basement where the boiler is, and the basement is just disgusting. It's so gross. I've been in there. Anyway, and then this is where, again, where Ricky was. I did look in one of these windows, and there, actually, I'm going anyway. Before I go through the neighborhood, I was looking in those windows, and the walls in Ricky's unit had big holes in it. I know that the police were called often due to arguing, etc. So the whole place is trashed, which is why I never tried to get those properties in probate court. Now I'm going to drive around I drive around the neighborhood just to show everybody just the area that he lived in. I mean, again, as I mentioned, a lot of places are boarded up. There is a lot of drugs in this area. So, and actually, that same property that I had showed you where Ricky lives, that was a drug house at one point. So, going from living in this house with a family to see, he relapsed in July of 2023, and his body was found March of 2024. I believe he started living there around December of 2023. Might have been earlier, might have been August. But to go from living there to living in this area is just, I can't even imagine. Obviously, the spray paint, you can just see the entire place was. So even there, I mean, this is pretty typical. You're going to have the garbage sitting outside. Nothing is kept up. Everything's really run down. Some are nice, granted. Some are nice, like this one. Definitely kept up a little bit, etc. But most of them are not. Again, there you have something boarded up, especially this one. You can see is been run down with all the weather. And then we go right back. So this shows you the front area of that entire building again. So right there, that is where Ricky was in this unit right here. probably stop pretty soon because there's not much else to show everybody. I mean, you get the gist of what what it was like. Now I know where I'm going with this. So this is a very prominent landmark, and it is what kicked off where I found out the location. So let me just show you, and then I'll explain in my next video. And alrighty. And then I will stop right there. Okay, so that was the end of the video. And thank you for watching along. But I want to tell you, there is more. There's definitely more. So stay tuned. I'll share in the next video. When the police were actually looking for Nate, couldn't find him. And okay, they weren't really looking. There were warrants out for his arrest, and they basically they're not going to go door to door in the Quad Cities, right? And look, okay. He did not have a work location. He did not have a home address. He didn't have anything. So instead of hiring a private investigator, I decided my second job, third job maybe, would be to be the private investigator. So that being said, that Burger King is a hint. That was a key thing as to where I knew exactly where he was, and I knew what password to use to get into his accounts. It has nothing to do with Burger King at all. It's the actual location. And it's where I knew to send the police to go and arrest him so that he could actually get served for the order of protection or restraining order. In Iowa, they call it order protection. So stay tuned. I would love to go on that journey with you and show everybody and explain how I did that. Because if you are in the same situation I am in, I will be happy to share that and cuts the cost of a PI. So I can definitely do that. Now, one other item to get to, his phone. And unfortunately, it is not charging at all. So I don't know. His last Samsung phone had to only be couldn't be charged by plugging it in. It had to be on a charger that you set it on. I don't know what those are called. I should. Anyway, so I have one of those at home. So we're heading back to Tennessee tomorrow. So I will see what I can get done over the weekend. Stay tuned. If anything, I will take off the SIM card and see what I can do with the SIM card. Because I have an old phone, I can put it in. Actually, one of his old phones, I can put it into. Perfect. And that one does charge. And I know the passcode. Anyway, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned. Let's go on this journey. So, next video, I am going to give you insights into one of the other places he stayed. how I knew he stayed there, and it had to do with that Burger King. And I will do another video on the findings with the SIM card. That might take me a little bit longer to get to, but as I'm going back to work full time next week. So, that being said, please stay tuned. And yeah, that's it. I don't need to drag this out any longer. Alrighty. Talk to everybody later. Okay.